Hey, it's great to see you again. Welcome to this week's Trinity Video Announcements. I'm here with our friend, our colleague, our fellow worker here in this great city, James McFadden, who is part of YSB Youth Services Bureau.
Thank you, sir. It's great to be here. Great talking with you again.
Oh, it's always great to be together with you. And one of the things as we start here is that, as you know, it's Advent time, it's December, it's Christmas time, we're going into that Christmas season, and one of the emphasis of our year has always been Angel Tree Ministry. And you are familiar, I know you're familiar with the good work that you have helped many places, many people in this city do by your offerings and your generosity through the Angel Tree Ministry. And one of the things we're going to talk about here, we're going to talk about Youth Services Bureau, but we're also going to talk a little bit about Angel Tree and the work that we hope that you can help YSB do with helping kids feel like they belong in this community. Tell us remind us, Youth
Absolutely.
Services.
It's so nice to be back talking with you. So the Youth Service Bureau is a branch of the YMCA here in Fort Wayne. Most people know us as a social service agency branch or component of the Y. And so the youth and families that we serve are oftentimes in desperate need of services, resources, mentorship, and advocacy. And so our mission is to reach out to stay youth-focused, but also to bring in families and provide them what resources and services are available, as well as just that connection and intentional support that our staff can provide.
Yeah. You frequently are kind of like the advocate of last resort for a lot of kids. Would that be fair?
Absolutely. A big component of what we do is prevention. Mm-hmm. And so the last thing that we want to see is a young person get into a punitive or the legal system unnecessarily, especially if there's things that we can do to combat some of the challenges and issues that can bring a young person to that spot. And so a lot of times it's, first and foremost, it's just that caring adult. It's that connection piece. Mm-hmm. If you can build that trust and you can form a relationship, then you can really start making headway in terms of getting to know a person, working with them, and then starting to provide that support to hopefully change the trajectory of a young person's life so that way they don't go down a hard road of hardship and pain.
Yeah. How many kids do you all work, on average, any sense of how many youth? And I know that's a broad kind of range, but how many youth do you
Absolutely.
work with?
So over the course of a year, it ebbs and flows. Programmatically, one of our programs, the Youth Advocacy Program, we consistently work with about 130 youth a year. But again, these are long-term relationships that we're forming. Right. In terms of overall scope, it's well into the hundreds in terms of families, as well as then the resources that then affect not only just that one student, but then the siblings, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. And so it's that cohesive unit that we're really trying to focus on and create a support system for the youth that we're working with.
Yeah, some of you will find out that I wrote this Advent devotional booklet for this year, and its foundational pieces is things from kids and families and workers at YSB that you sent over to me. And there is, for some of those, really very much a theme of how YSB became a community for people, that you begin to form a community, almost you might say a family, for some individuals, for some kids,
Absolutely. And we, last year when I had the opportunity to speak here, I definitely wanted to highlight the fact that the resiliency and the strength that a lot of our kids show is unmatched. And so we are just as honored to be a part of their lives and to have their trust, as I hope they are for us, for it to be reciprocated. And so that's intentional. We know that this work, we cannot do it by ourselves. We're a small team, and so the more that we can work together and create that supportive network, that framework, that family dynamic, the greater successes that we see, physical, mental, and emotional.
And for us, one of the, I've talked about, hear for some people who've heard me say this, that part of the work that you do, although you do work with families with small children, even.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But a lot of the work is with middle high school kids, middle high school age kids, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Our teens not only have just normal teenage angst and hormonal craziness going on, but they've experienced real life trauma, and could be experiencing real life trauma, and that in turn creates a whole different dynamic and setting in terms of how you present, how you connect, how you trust, how you interact with the world. And so with that, if you are coming into meeting a young person that's in this state and without that understanding, it could be very daunting. It might not even be the best experience at first. And so we appreciate those that have the patience and the understanding to know that maybe a person is really going through a lot, especially a young person, and that, being able to listen and to just be present goes a long way. And that's what we try to do the best that we can. We don't have all the solutions or the answers, but showing up consistently is a big part of just letting a young person know that at least we're sincere, we're serious about what we're trying to provide.
Yeah, and the support that you help us do, you who are part of our life here together at Trinity, is so essential for YSB, because we're supporting them in that really very challenging but meaningful work.
And as we were talking about before we started, having a partnership and a congregation that, and I'm saying this genuinely, has an understanding and a sincere want to learn more. I was overwhelmed last year. The giving was great, but it was everyone that came up to me afterwards and there on out wanting to learn more, do more, and just have a better understanding of what's going on in our community. You guys are centrally located in it. You see it. And so, and the youth that I'm talking about are kids that have been trafficked, that are unhoused or homeless, that have been victims of sexual assault, that don't have their basic needs met on a daily basis. And because of that, it's so important, and we're so grateful just to have the opportunity to speak on that, as well as to be able to kind of shed a light on their shine a little bit in terms of the things that they are able to achieve, even amongst all of those obstacles. And you guys are instrumental in that, just in your support and your prayers.
Well, we appreciate that. And, it's our pleasure to be able to help be part of that community, which is part of what we're also talking about here. As you know, this time of year, we have this traditional offering that we gather we call it Angel Tree, right? And it's a long tradition for us here, and it's part of our Advent Christmas focus about being mindful of our community, our neighbors, our people here that are just in need. And last year we did a project with YSB. If you remember, we collected, school packs for high school age, school packs for kids. But sitting up in our office, a few of us were like, we really want to go back to YSB. It's something we haven't done in the past.
So happy.
To go back to a partner. And one of the things we started talking about is the question of belonging, and how do we feel all of the subtle ways that we give clues that we belong or that we want to belong. And we started to talk about that, and it was you, or maybe it was Amy Dom Just, I think it was you who said, things you need for belonging: deodorant, acne cream,
it is.
shampoo.
It's funny. And as we were talking, though, it's the small things that we take for granted that get you in those moments, day to day, good or bad. They get you to the next place. But if you don't have those things, and you're not going to have those things, it's really hard to get up and to give it your best effort. And even though it seems, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, a clean pair of socks, those things are small in and of themselves, but as a whole, if you don't have any of those things consistently, it creates a sense of hopelessness. And it does. It outs you in a way that you don't want to be outed. You know, we want our kids to feel unique, and we want our kids to be seen. But nobody wants to be seen as the one needing the most or not having. And that, especially as a youth, especially as a kid, that is just incredibly difficult to get up and go every day and be expected to perform academically, or a lot of our kids are expected to get jobs, to take care of family, or they're on their own. And so they're taking care of themselves. And so it is so important for that dignity piece, just to be able to provide those items and that support. So that way our kids can be as successful and to feel valued.
Yeah, and you know, these things that it's so easy to take for granted. And it sounds, honestly, for some of us, it sounds, come on. I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
A toothbrush, are you kidding? You know, but there is, and I've learned this over almost 40 years of working in at-risk communities, that it is those things.
And it's those things, and for those two that are maybe even thinking, well, there are a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of other organizations. You guys are great, but there's other great churches, there's schools, there's cases, there's good-hearted people out there. Absolutely. Unfortunately, due to the circumstances that our kids have gone through, they may not necessarily have ever run into those people in a way that gives them a sense of trust to ask. And so it's not that the things aren't out there and they can maybe connect with them, it's that because of what they've been through and consistently their trust has been broken, or they've been abused trying to maybe receive help, that a lot of them won't ask because there's a fear factor.
Well, I'm going to tell you no.
Absolutely. Like, who you
what
know.
do you mean?
Exactly, because we think it's so easy, but if you don't have the means and to go up and just ask for something from a stranger, it's incredibly difficult. And so that's why it's all the more important for partnerships like this to create a sense of belonging and trust, so that way those resources and services and items can go and actually be used the way that they're intended, and kids feel good about it. That's another piece.
Well, and the other, and honestly, I mean, probably no matter how well we know a kid that is not ours, and sometimes even is ours.
It depends on the day.
Yours is getting older, but I can tell you there is this day. There is this day when
it depends on the day.
But there, you know, there's not many kids who are going to show up at Trinity and say, I need a pair of underwear. Right? I need 2 pairs of socks. I mean, it's my experience is not going to happen. But there's 130 plus kids who might show up at your place and say, I need underwear, I need acne wash, I need socks. I mean, it's just this, there's this intimacy that...
And that, the 130 you're referring to, I mean, those are that we have the relationships. So there are hundreds more that, you know, for those that don't know, we're located adjacent to Southside High School. And so bell rings, hundreds of kids are coming out. And so with that, then we are having walk-ins all the time that are just inquiring about what we do. And so for those kids too, that's the start of a relationship. But again, we're intentional about how we present our items. We're intentional about where they go. And so that way we try to create some sustainability, but the reach is massive. And one good connection allows a student to then tell friends and family, and we can be able to create that network. And so yes, we work really hard to keep our place, our branch, as a safe haven, a safe place, you know, as our 24/7 crisis line for all youth that are in need.
So, long way around, back to Angel Tree. This year, this December, this Christmas time, we are collecting an offering for YSB this year for all of those little things that help somebody, help a kid feel like they can fit in, feel like they can belong.
Absolutely.
And we're going to have available, if you want to go, we're going to do this crazy thing, and we're going to force it on you. We're going to have you can do a shopping list. And if you're feeling like you want to take your child, your kid out, you want to take yourself out, you're going to buy toothpaste, you're going to buy toothbrushes, you're going to buy, we're going to have a whole list of things that you can go. You can accumulate it. You can bring it here, and we're going to take it down to YSB. Or you can also give a dollar offering, and we're going to give that to YSB, and then they're going to buy underwear and socks and
things.
acne wash and toothbrushes, and all of these things that for so many of us seem like small things, but they help indicate that somebody's cared for.
Absolutely.
And we want you to belong. Right?
Yes. And for those, whatever your style of giving is, we appreciate both. And so, but for those that want to have kind of a more intentional and want to, connect and learn more, that is my role as a senior program director. And so the more any questions or those that are wanting to learn more or work with us in different capacities or whatever that may be, definitely open to that. Just because, like I've said before, it takes so many people, and especially those that are intentional and caring, in order for us to kind of continue to move the needle and in the right direction. So, but yes, any way that you want to give, I can't stress enough the impact that last year's donations and generosity did. I mean, it was life-changing, especially in some of the most urgent situations. Specifically to what your congregation gave, it went to those that were in the very most need. And so I wish I didn't have to say that. I know that that's going to happen again because these issues were getting better, but unfortunately we're working towards that. But until then, I know again that anything that is given is going to go to those that are in desperate need and will greatly appreciate it.
Yes. So as you see it coming forward, offerings for Angel Tree, please pay attention to that. December 8th at our candlelight service, James and you gonna bring the family? You gonna bring the kid?
The fam's coming.
Excellent.
We usually sit right over there
right,
too.
Right over there on that side. Yes.
That's right. We were somewhat we were noticed last time. My son was making dragon noises.
Brilliant.
It was.
Maybe I should have him come up and
I was trying to throw you off your game a little bit. I was just to see you were locked in though. You did good.
So, but James and his family are going to be here on Sunday, December 8th, and for the afternoon worship time. Come and say hi.
Yes, please.
Come and say hi.
Please introduce yourself. I'd love to, hear your story and tell more about kind of what we're trying to do over at YSB.
Yeah, excellent. But thank you for your partnership with us here at Trinity, your heart's partnership with our friends at YSB. Thanks for remembering who we are and what we do here in this community.
Yes, can't thank you enough.
Yes. James, we'll see you on December 8th.
I'll be there.
Excellent. And we'll see you here just very shortly. See you soon. Thanks a lot.